Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to episode 3 of the Talent Capital webinar. Today, we are spotlighting one of our partners, Generation, and their JobSprint training. We have 3 fantastic speakers today. We have Ms. Kat Kelly, Head of U.S. Programming, Ms. Elena Bellin, the Program Manager, and Ms. Ama Asantewa, the Recruitment Coordinator. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to the Generation team.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for this introduction. We really appreciate everyone joining us today and the opportunity to present our newest employability program, JobSprint, to you all. Kat is sharing the presentation, but we're really, again, happy to be here today to give you a more clear picture of who Generation is, what the JobSprint program offers, what we expect from our participants, and how we support our learners during and after the program. So hopefully by the end of the session, we'd love for you to consider applying and know exactly the steps that you need to take in the process. In terms of our agenda for today, we'll meet our Generation team who works on this program. We'll give you a brief introduction to Generation as an organization. We'll watch a video and Kat will tell us in more detail about our impact. And then we'll dive right into the program. We will talk about what it is, why we created it, what you can expect to learn, and of course go over placement and future possibilities for you after you graduate. We'll go over the application process and the expectations in terms of timeline, and then we'll open the floor for Q&A. We can go ahead and go to the next one. So again, I'm here with Kat and Ama, but this is the rest of our team who is behind the design, the execution, and the delivery of our JobSprint program to make sure that we make it as impactful for our learners as possible. And now we'll watch a brief video.
And do let me know if you can hear the volume.
We can hear it.
Living in a single room,
you are used to sleep hungry. It was extreme. If you ask the poorest family in that area, you'll be brought to our house.
Podías cubrir necesidades básicas. Literalmente en una fila de comida mataron a una persona para 2 kilos de harina pan. Yo entré a México en el 2017 con el objetivo de ayudar a mi familia. Me traje muy pocas cosas, empecé desde cero.
जिस सुबह में मेरे साथ ये सब हादसा हुआ था एटलीस्ट 27-28 और उनके जाने के बाद से इतना समझ में आया था कि सहारा जैसा शब्द जो था ना वो मेरी जिंदगी में नहीं है। मेरी खुद की फैमिली मेंबर्स मुझे सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहे तो आता कि 3 बच्चों को कैसे मैनेज करूंगी कैसे पालूंगी। पढ़ाई कोई इतनी खास मैंने करी नहीं तब था। I didn't have the skills that the market required and I didn't have perspective. I didn't know how to start.
Todo el proceso de contratación es difícil. Generation me ayudó a entender el mundo laboral.
जनरेशन ने ये सिखाया कि प्रॉब्लम कितनी भी बड़ी हो बट कभी उसको बड़ा नहीं समझना।
To be eager to learn more and more.
They open up my mind to see world in a different perspective.
मेरी पहली जॉब मेरे पहले अचीवमेंट मेरी पहली सैलरी मेरी जनरेशन के थ्रू ही मिली।
Of I studied in generation, I entered into a professional job. I was entering big offices, even I could not believe myself. Generation was my dad.
Era mi primer trabajo en TI, tenía un buen salario.
I was able to pay the rent for my mom, school fees for my brothers and sisters.
Ya podía enviarle más dinero a mi familia, de rentar un espacio propio.
The growth in terms of quality of living it's tangible. आज अपनी मर्जी से जिंदगी जी रहे हो उस तरीके की चिंता नहीं है कि मेरे बच्चे भूखे सोएंगे मैंने बच्चों की पढ़ाई पे फोकस किया है। Many changes since the last 10 years. Things are going great for me. I have even reached director positions in this company. I actually bought the house 2 years ago.
The lady that I married We started to retire in generation and we graduated the same day. We came together, we joined hands. We said enough is enough. Whatever was painted in our history, it should not determine our lives today. I won't allow my children to go through that. So then they know now there's a TV, there's a laptop, they have to do. In college, they've never lacked.
Yo siempre soñaba con formar mi propia familia y ahora sí puedo. Ahora la esperanza principal es hacer que mi familia llegue acá. Les voy a enviar el dinero para el pasaje, les compro su casa. Looking back, the person I am, part of this success is generation.
There was a shift in my mind. What seemed to be impossible, apparently it's possible.
Como si atravesaste un portal hacia otra vida.
So thank you for taking a moment to watch that video. We celebrated 10 years of impact last year, and we are thrilled to continue our work. And so hopefully you gleaned from that video, Generation is a global independent nonprofit, and we believe in the power of jobs to change lives. Over the last 10 years, we've recruited, trained, and placed individuals into careers that would otherwise be inaccessible, with the goal of ultimately supporting economic mobility through income uplift. Here's a snapshot of our global impact to date. We have served over 150,000 learners globally across 17, or actually 18 countries in over 40 programs. We have, of those graduates, 81% of them are working within 6 months. 84% of them can outperform their peers in productivity in terms of quality of work, and that's feedback directly from our employer partners, of whom we have over 17,000 around the world. And our outcomes are actually durable. We see that our graduates are employed, 86% of them are employed 1 year after graduation. And when we look at our impact 2 to 5 years after graduation, 76% of them continue to be employed. On the left-hand side here, you can see some of our partners. We are primarily philanthropy and government funded. And on the right-hand side, you can see some of the employers that we work with across several different markets. And finally, at the bottom, you can see the countries in which we operate. Oh, and then I should just mention in the US, we've been in the US since 2015, and we have graduated over 8,000 learners in a range of professions ranging from tech, skilled trade, healthcare, and we are really excited to talk to you today about our new program called JobSprint. And so this is a bit of a snapshot of the learner journey that you would do if you were to apply and then join the program. Right now, we're at the beginning of the road where you may be learning about generation through the first time. And then ultimately, if you decide that this program, JobSprint, is a fit for you, we invite you to apply. You would complete the recruitment process. Alma's going to walk us through what that looks like in just a bit. Go through onboarding and then attend the course. That course for this specific program would last 3 weeks, and then you would unlock your 5 hours of personalized career coaching and placement support. We'll also talk a bit about what that post-program placement pathway looks like. And then ultimately, our hope for you is that you would then start a new job after our program. I'll hand it over to Elena now to talk to us about the program. You're on mute, Elena.
Thank you. Apologies for that. Yes, so let's get into the basics of JobSprint. Like Kat already mentioned, the program is 3 weeks in duration, and most of the content is asynchronous or virtual. So you're expected to complete 12 to 15 hours per week of that asynchronous content. And in addition to that, there will be one live reinforcement session. There is no cost to the program. We've actually intentionally designed it to be as flexible and accessible as possible. Again, with the asynchronous, mostly asynchronous nature of it, you'll be able to sort of balance family obligations or responsibilities or other things that might be going on while you're completing the program. Our first cohort will start on August 3rd in just a few short weeks and ends on August 21st. And like Kat already mentioned, After completing that 3 weeks and successfully graduating, you will be able to unlock your 3 months of post-program support, which is a lot of live coaching, and we'll talk more in detail about that a little bit later on in the presentation. Go ahead. So again, what exactly is JobSprint? Like we've mentioned, it is short, but it's very focused. And we're trying to answer this big question for you. How do I actually land a job in today's AI-driven and highly competitive hiring market? We have designed the program for a broad range of job seekers. So it is open to all professions, including, for example, recent graduates who are just entering the labor market, but also mid-career professionals who are unemployed or underemployed and need an updated job search strategy and AI skills. That said, right now, for the first 2 cohorts, we are focusing on people who are located in the DMV area, which works great for you, or Atlanta or Austin. But since it is virtual, we're also open to applicants from different locations as well. And I want to talk a little bit about what makes JobSprint unique. It's that combination of using and practicing and upskilling on AI tools, but also human coaching that we're trying to strike a balance in. Again, we know that AI is being heavily used in recruiting, but what's the most effective way to do it? Those are the kinds of questions that we're trying to help you answer throughout the program. So you will graduate the program with an updated resume, a stronger LinkedIn profile, some practical AI skills, and a personalized job search strategy. Yeah, we can go to the next one, actually. Thank you. And so, yes, something I also wanted to, reiterate, we are looking for participants in the program who are also ready to actively engage in their job search, right? So our strongest candidates would be people who are committed to finding employment, willing to invest that time in the program, who feel comfortable with independent, remote content, working independently online. And we're looking for them to demonstrate qualities like persistence, problem solving, communication, leadership. So now a little bit about sort of the landscape that's behind our reason for designing this program. We all know that the labor market in recent months has changed very dramatically. It's a lot more competitive, a lot more applications out there. Employers are actively using AI. They're using ATS, automated screening systems. And so we're hearing from a lot of job seekers that they're facing unprecedented challenges. As you can see, over half of them are not hearing back after applying. Also, about half lack effective professional networks or feel overwhelmed or discouraged by the whole process, which makes sense given everything we've just talked about. And some of more other traditional boot camps or similar programs often don't fully address all of these challenges, so they can sometimes be expensive or very profession specific, require higher time commitment, full-time programs, and may not include the latest research on how AI is changing the hiring process. So we designed JobSprint to tackle, sort of fill that gap, right? Combining AI-powered tools and human coaching to give you that support that you need to update your interview strategy, give you interview preparation, networking strategies, and then provide you with ongoing placement support.
Now I just want to share a bit more about our curriculum, which is a methodology that we had started with 10 years ago that has proved the backbone of what enables us to achieve those job placement rates that we talked about earlier. And the first is that Our curriculum is always designed in partnership with employers. And so we do in-depth research with employers to understand what is the skills that they're looking to hire for. And then we include that in our curriculum. In addition, we, as Elena mentioned, are intentional about integrating AI in such a way that it actually helps you to build the AI fluency skills that you need for the job today. So going beyond just using an LLM for research, but how do you actually refine prompt design and iteration? What is the right balance between human AI collaboration and judgment? How do you already start to build workflow level AI integration specifically as it applies to your job search in a way that's actually effective and maybe not actually hurting you once a hiring manager is reviewing your application? In the content, we also aim to integrate the technical skills, behavioral skills, and mindsets, because this is also what we hear is even more important these days from employer partners. They are looking for soft skills. They are looking for communication, teamwork, etc. And so we also incorporate that into our curriculum. And lastly, you can always expect our curriculum to have twice as much practice as instruction. So it's not a lot of rote lecture. It is actually learning something, then immediately applying it, in this case, to your job search through role play, simulation, drills, etc. And now a deep dive into what each of the 3 weeks of the in-program experience looks like. Week 1 is getting started on your career pathway. It is about 15 hours of asynchronous or kind of pace yourself as you go content that we do expect you to complete in that first week in order to unlock the second week. There is also 1 weekly live group session with our employability coach, which will be used to reinforce the topics learned in the asynchronous content from that week. From week 1, you can see here course introduction. What does AI look like in the hiring landscape today? Because it has been quickly changing. It's very different from even a year ago. Practicing AI prompting and iteration. What's your career pathway look like? Job search, and your major deliverable as an updated and refined resume optimized for the AI job search today. Week 2, once you complete week 1, is then focused on cover letters, work portfolios, LinkedIn and personal branding, which is the second deliverable, as well as networking, in addition to that live reinforcement session. And then week 3, sealing the deal, is all about interview prep and performance assessment, which are also increasingly being used to validate that the person behind the application is who they say they are and have the skills that they say they do. Your deliverable will be a structured job search plan. You can see on the right-hand side here the different AI tools that you can expect to use. We have something called Career Coach, which is a third-party tool from Career Village that helps to do a lot of guided practice around various employability skills. We have custom generation bots to support with resume, interview, chat-based, etc. We will use LLMs in the work, as well as in addition to something we call the employability module, which will actually match you to job opportunities. What I'll say here as well is that the program is designed to be profession agnostic. And so we are hoping to have you bring your perspective and your experiences alongside the curriculum to make it as tailored as possible to you, your interests, and your potential placement pathways thereafter. A bit more about program requirements and expectations. You can see the eligibility criteria on our website when you apply. Elena also mentioned it earlier. You need to be over 18, legal and authorized to work in the US, and either have a high school degree, university degree, or work experience. Technical requirements, we do require you to have access to a computer or a laptop. This is not something that you could just do on the phone, and to have some basic experience with AI. I think that would be helpful coming in. In terms of what expectations, once the course begins, there are about 12 to 15 hours of weekly content, so you can expect to spend that amount of time in addition to the weekly live session. There will be a deliverable due each week in order to be able to continue with the program, and you will already begin your first coaching session with our employability coach in those first 3 weeks, and that's more of a getting to know you section. The behavioral skills and mindsets that we're pointing to that we know that employers are looking for around communication, personal responsibility, and adaptability. In terms of what you can expect, so I mentioned on the left-hand side a bit already about what you can expect during the program. There is then the post-program coaching and placement support piece and the micro-internship piece that I do want to speak to. So once you complete the 3 weeks of the in-program experience, You would then have access to 4 different placement pathways that you would actually then talk through with our employer engagement manager. So you'll have a meeting with them to talk about what your job search plan looks like thereafter, and I'll talk about those opportunities in more detail in a bit. You will also have 5 hours of personalized one-on-one coaching session with the employability coach that will be targeted to specifically what your needs are. So if you're all set on your resume, you don't need any more conversation around that. We won't focus the time on that, but we would then focus on LinkedIn or how you're interviewing, etc. That this is meant to be highly tailored to you. And what I'll mention as well is that post-program, not only are you going to be potentially introduced to our employer partners if that matches your job profession or provided referrals. If not, we will also have opportunities to have micro internships with our partner Parker Dewey. So these are paid short-term projects that can help get relevant work experience under your belt that then you can then use and speak to in your interview process. This is a opportunity that you do need to apply to and be selected from. These are with our employer partners as well. But should you be selected for this and complete the work, then you can receive a payment of $300 for doing so and also put it on your resume. So now I'll hand it over to Amma to talk through the application process.
Hi, everybody. Welcome in. So I just want to welcome you guys into the application process in a few short steps here. So first step is to register and do registration. So if you're interested in creating an account, we have the link here so you can view the application and read through everything the program has to offer that Kat and Elena already covered. But if you feel like this is the right fit for you, then the second step is going to be application, where it's just a few things on demographic, a little bit information that we just want to collect on you to get to know you and where you're coming from and your needs from us. And then we're going to go to step 3, where it's just eligibility assessments, which if you want to come to that step, I just encourage everybody to like carve out about 25 minutes. The quizzes are pretty short and sweet. They're about 17 questions each. So it doesn't take a lot of time, but you want to make sure you have the time to make it through them so you don't have to start and stop and pause your application. And then after you're done doing those quizzes, we get to the online challenge. And we have 2 portions of it where you will complete a dream job and you also complete a video recording. But I want to kind of touch bases on the dream job and kind of give you an outlook of what we're kind of wanting to see from you when you complete that challenge. So can I click? Kat, are you going to click for me? Sorry. It's okay, you're muted.
The dream job example
Oh, okay.
on the
There's like,
presentation.
Thanks, guys. I'm not the pro here, but let me share my screen again. Sorry about that. You
no,
should
it's
see it
okay.
now.
Okay, so we have an example student named Weber. He followed the description by putting a date, a time, and a header. He put in his dream role, which is to be a project manager. He led with why he enjoys doing this job and why he wants to do it and what it relates to his future goals and why problem solving and being successful and time management and things like that allowed him to want to become a program manager. So that's just a small paragraph. It doesn't have to be like a whole full page. We're just looking for a couple of sentences of what your dream job is and why you want to do that dream job. Our next step in the process is finding a role in the real world. And we encourage you to go on LinkedIn and search some people who might have the same job that you're looking for. And we want you to put their name, their job title, the company, and link their profile. But also, we want to hear like how you see yourself in this career path and like how it can relate to your future career goals by going through this person's LinkedIn and seeing like, oh, they started here and they got here. I see myself taking these steps, or I would like myself to take these steps so I can have the same outcome in the future on this career path. That's kind of what we're looking for here. And we just need two people, one professional and a second professional. So when Kat scrolls down, you see there's another person linked there as well. And you can go down again. And then after you've done the real world experience, linking those professionals, we just want to see a small letter to a hiring manager that you introduce yourself, explain your interests, something that you would email somebody if you're looking for a job, or if you're on LinkedIn and sending an interest letter or something like that. So, hey, my name is this. I'm exploring careers in project management. I came across your LinkedIn. I was impressed by your experience as a project manager at Company. I would love to learn more about your career journey and the skills that you have succeeded in advice that you might have for someone interested in pursuing this career in management. Thank you for your time and consideration. Hope to connect with you. That's short, sweet. It doesn't have to be 5 pages, just a little paragraph. And just a next thing to touch on that, please make sure when you're uploading your dream challenge that you make sure you're previewing what you send to us, that is actually the right document. Make sure you name it correctly so you're not uploading the wrong thing and getting disqualified because you uploaded the wrong document. And then right after that, just slide straight into doing your video with recording. It's 3 questions that kind of we just want to learn a little bit more about you and how you answer the questions. It doesn't have to be super, super formal. It doesn't have to be like written out. It can just come straight from you and your personal experience while you're going through the application process. And the fifth step is once we get the video from you, we get that dream challenge, we will invite you for an interview. It'll be either me or Elena that you get to interview with. And there's about like 6 short questions. And it's just a great time to have a conversation, learn more about each other and your goals in your career path that you're trying to go down. And then step number 6 is application review. Um, we will then review your application and you will hear back from us and see if you were selected for the program at step 7. And you get all the orientation stuff. So I hope to see you guys in the application process.
Thank you, Amma. So now I just want to touch base in more detail around the placement process. And so our goal is to help you secure jobs. That's our number one goal, right? Because we know that that is what is going to matter to you, your families, and to your ultimate your aspirations. We have a few different pathways for this JobSprint program. There's not the intention that we, funnel people into one specific pathway. In fact, you might be pursuing multiple pathways at once. The first is introduction to our employer partners. So these are job opportunities that they're actively hiring for, that they have committed to interview our graduates for. These are opportunities specific for this program right now in tech sales, project management, and project coordination. None of these opportunities require a specific certification. And if this is an area of interest for you, we can talk more once we're in the program around how we can set you up for these types of opportunities. We will also refer learners because we know for this program, you might be coming in with a very different background and have no interest in tech sales, etc. But what we can do with our large employer network is at least facilitate introductions, even if we don't necessarily have that commitment to interview, which can help get your resume to the top of the list. We also anticipate many folks will do what we call self-placement, which is just continuing to apply to jobs independently, but still with our support in terms of the career coaching, helping you prepare for those interviews, making sure your CV looks right, etc. We also have the employability module that I mentioned before, which is another way to receive tailored job leads by, you input your CV and then out comes opportunities that match your experience in your specific location. And then finally, as I mentioned before, we do have micro internship opportunities with our partner Parker Dewey. So this is an opportunity to get paid work experience for a short project around 15 hours. You do need to apply and be selected for this, but then you can receive a $300 payment for your 15 hours of work for this specific project. Okay, and Elena, do you want to just wrap us up here?
Yes, absolutely. So basically, in terms of timeline of next steps, we would like applicants interested in participating in the program to go ahead and apply by July 19th so that we have time to invite you for an interview and complete the rest of the process. So the next step is that live interview. Then we have a section for uploading some documents for verification, a short enrollment form, and then you will receive more information about our orientation day. It's going to be some sort of onboarding activities that we expect you to complete within a time frame. That will also be asynchronous, so virtual, but we are happy to answer any questions that you might have throughout this process. And in general, during our office hours, which will take place on the 29th and 30th of July to support you through that process. And I'm also going to drop in the chat our email. So in case you have any questions about the program, about applying or anything else, please do not hesitate to let us know. We are there to support you. So now we're happy to open the floor sort of for questions. We do have one in the chat, Kat. Is this program also applicable to more senior professionals who were let go from federal jobs and are trying to transition to the private sector?
Great question. Thank you. Because I know that there's probably plenty in the audience that fit that bill. And so the eligibility criteria for the program are for underemployed, working under 30 hours, or unemployed individuals. Or individuals who are underemployed earning under 75K per year. So if you're very senior and looking for employment opportunities beyond that, this may not be the best fit program for you, but we're also happy to answer that question on a personal basis if you just reach out to the Admissions USA email. The content itself could still very much be applicable, but it's just a matter of the type of job opportunities that we have available for our graduates in the program where that may not be the exact fit.
Thank you for that question. We want to encourage anyone else who has any questions. Of course. Anything about the application process that you might need more information on, or other questions about the program?
We'll leave the chat open for a few more minutes for questions, but this is a QR code if you're interested in applying after hearing about the great program today. Please scan the QR code, and again, we ask for folks to submit their application by July 26th so we can do the interview process. So we'll leave this open as well as the chat if you have any additional questions.
We do have an additional question here around adults with limited work experience, gap in resume. That is actually a typical learner profile that we serve. So mid-careers who are looking to get back into work, potentially after a long break due to caregiving responsibilities. So that is a profile that we aim to support, and someone who could be a good fit, for example, for the micro internships, to be able to then put a more recent paid work experience on your resume to help fill that gap.
I see another question. I think this is probably regarding the application deadline. Is that right?
Yes.
We do encourage applicants to submit their applications by July 19th. Again, so that we have.
Oh,
so that
sorry,
we
I
have.
have it on the 26th on here.
Oh, no problem. Yes. So we wanna have some time to also make sure that we interview everybody and get you through the rest of the couple of steps in order for you to move on to onboarding the week before August 3rd when the program actually begins.
You may still be getting processed after July 19, which is, I think, probably why we maybe give you the wrong date, Jen. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
I see a couple in the Q&A. One is, can you advise the typical times for the online session? So those are going to be 6 to 7 p.m. on Thursdays. And so that is from our survey of the potential applicants pool, the best potential time. And then the second question from Stuart is how many spots are there on the program? How many applications do you expect? So we are reserving 60 spots. And so that enables us to ensure a hands-on experience for the employability coach, being able to dedicate that 5 hours of time per participant per cohort. And in terms of applicants, we typically see for our programs hundreds of applicants, whether that's on the high end, low end, it depends on the program. This is the first time we are running this specific program, just to be fully transparent. So I don't have historical data as it relates to a part-time program. And yes, this is Eastern time. Thank you for asking, Nikki. Important clarification.
These are all great questions. Thank you for asking.
Leah, I see you have your hand raised. Or maybe that was just an accident. If more questions come to you, Amma is very responsive. You can just shoot us an email at the admissionsusa@generation.org, and we are happy to answer any questions, and we do encourage you to apply.
Kat, there is an additional question. What happens if you don't complete the sessions within the 3 weeks?
That's a great question. Then you would not access the hours of employability coaching nor the placement pathway opportunities. And so we do require you to complete the course in order to unlock those next set of benefits. Now, if this timing for this cohort does not work for you, so this is again an August 3rd to August 24th cohort, we do have a second, third, and fourth cohort lined up through the rest of this year. Cohort 2 will start September 14, and then we'll have one starting in October and one in November. However, I encourage you, if it is possible to do August, to do that now, because as we know, job search getting closer to the holiday time tends to be a little bit tricky, and we expect there to be more kind of hiring activity earlier in the Q4 time.
Just to sort of piggyback on this, Kat, I think, when we say the content is self-paced, we mean you can complete it. You don't have to complete it all in one sitting, right? From like 9 to 5. But we do expect the content to be completed within each week. So that's sort of the pacing that we encourage, so that when you do have the live session, you can sort of practice and reinforce those concepts that you learned throughout the week, right? So you do have to be completing the asynchronous content along with the live sessions week by week in order to graduate. It's not self-paced in the sense that you can complete it whenever and still access that post-program support.
All right, Jen, I'm not sure if we have more questions. Oh, the link for the QR code. Can we drop the link in as well?
I did drop that in the chat, but it was at the beginning, so I will go ahead and paste that again at the end as well. So you
Actually,
have
Elena,
it.
let's drop in the one that says special for Talent Capital AI. So I will do that in just a moment.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Kat. While she's entering that link for you to click on in the chat, wanted to go through some additional opportunities available through Talent Capital. There are a few employers on the call. Next month, we will doing a platform deep dive, a new resource for employers in the district to access and connect with top talent that are registered with Talent Capital. And so we encourage folks, especially employers, to join us for next month's session where we will unveil new tools for employers. Oops, there's a typo. And then a new resource, cybertalentforce.com. This is a new assessment and job matching tool for folks who may be interested in the Department of War cybersecurity positions. And so this is being launched in the next few days. So you get a sneak peek today through Talent Capital. And we look forward to receiving applications for this fantastic JobSprint program through Generation. And we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you, Jen, for inviting us to present. We hope to see many applicants from Talent Capital AI.
We are so excited. We also will share the link for those who registered but could not attend, and this will go online too.
All right, have a great weekend.
Thank you, Jen, and everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.